Warren Buffett says a home is one of the most important assets that most people will ever buy. Homes are where memories are made, and you want to work with someone you can trust. I'm the digital AI assistant for Darnell, and I want to personally welcome you to this home buying series. Whether you're purchasing your very first home or you've owned property before, my goal with these videos is simple: to make your home buying journey clearer, smoother, and far less stressful. Buying a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make, and I believe it should be an enjoyable and productive experience, not an overwhelming one. That's why I've created this series, to walk you through the process with an organized plan and practical guidance every step of the way. There are many benefits to owning a home, both personal and financial. On a personal level, home ownership gives you flexibility, stability, and pride in having a place that's truly yours. Financially, it offers long-term advantages such as potential property appreciation and, in many cases, tax benefits like deducting mortgage interest and property taxes. Now, those deductions do come with guidelines, especially if you exceed the standard deduction, but for most homeowners, there are real financial advantages to owning versus renting. Now that you understand the why, let's talk about the how. In this series, I'll walk you through the home pathum, the 8 key steps of the home buying process, from our first conversation to house hunting to writing offers and all the way to closing day when you receive the keys to your new home. If you want this process to move smoothly and on schedule, the most important thing you can do is start the right way, and that begins with clarity, preparation, and having the right guidance in place. So let's get started. As your realtor Darnell says, I am committed to earning your trust while delivering an elevated real estate experience tailored to your unique goals. I provide bespoke, highly professional representation, combining market expertise with cutting-edge strategies to ensure exceptional results at every stage. Meet your realtor. Buying a home is one of the most important financial and personal decisions you'll ever make, and having the right guidance can make all the difference. With nearly 30 years of real estate experience, my goal is simple: to help you move through the home buying process with clarity, confidence, and as little stress as possible. I believe real estate is more than just finding a house. It's about helping people make smart decisions that support their future. As an associate broker with Berkshire Hathaway HomeServices Georgia Properties, I've had the privilege of helping first-time buyers, growing families, military veterans, and relocating professionals successfully navigate changing markets and competitive negotiations. My approach is built on preparation, communication, patience, and strategy, because informed buyers make better decisions. I understand that every client's situation is different. That's why I take the time to listen carefully, answer questions honestly, and create a plan that fits your goals, timeline, and comfort level. Whether you're buying your first home or your next home, my commitment is to guide and protect your interests every step of the way. In addition to real estate, I'm proud to be a veteran and someone who values integrity, service, and community. Those values continue to shape the way I work with every client relationship. My mission is not simply to help you buy a home, it's to help you make a confident decision you'll feel good about long after closing day. I look forward to helping you through the journey ahead. If I called you tonight and said, I found a home that checks all your boxes, what would you do? Would you be ready to move forward? Would you know what is really needed to make a good purchase? Let's quickly go over a few common mistakes buyers should avoid. Don't get too emotional. Treat the purchase like an investment, not just a personal milestone. Stay objective so emotions don't cloud your judgment. Get pre-approved before house hunting. Know your budget first. Pre-approval helps you shop in the right price range and makes your offer more competitive. Don't drain your savings. Keep funds aside for repairs, closing costs, and unexpected expenses. Buying a home comes with ongoing financial demands. Choose your lender. Carefully compare multiple lenders to find the best rates and terms. Shopping around can save you significant money. Number 1, money. Pre-approved. Get pre-approved and explore loan options and down payment assistance. Number 2, agent. Partner. Work with a trusted agent who guides, protects, and advocates for you. Number 3, money. Pre-approved. Get pre-approved and explore loan options and down payment assistance. Number 4, expectations. Prioritize. Define your lifestyle, needs, and must-haves to guide your search. Number 5, preview. Pursue tour homes strategically and focus on what truly fits your goals. Number 6, agreement. Propose. Submit your offer and complete inspections, appraisal, and key conditions. Number 7 talk. Get throg, negotiate, talk it through and negotiate to reach terms that work for you. Number 8, handed the case, possess, finalize title work, sign documents, and take ownership of your home. H, heeds pace, prepare. Step 1, preparing to buy. Mindset, timing, readiness, decision makers. Let me ask you something. If I called you tonight and said I found a home that checks all your boxes, what would you do? Would you be ready to move forward? If the answer is no, then the truth is you're not quite ready to start looking yet. And that's okay. The key is to begin the process only when you're truly prepared to buy. Being ready isn't just about liking houses, it's about clarity. And that starts with answering a few important questions. When do you need to be settled? How would your plans change if the purchase happens sooner or later than expected? Who else needs to be involved in the decision? Is everyone involved fully committed? If you're currently renting, does your lease need to be reviewed? What are your financial strengths and where might there be challenges? And finally, if you already own a home, there's a bigger question we need to answer. Should you buy first or sell first? Let's talk about that. Most homeowners naturally think, I'll buy first so I have somewhere to live, and I get that. But here's the risk. If your current home doesn't sell in time, you could end up owning 2 homes. Unless you can comfortably qualify for and afford 2 mortgage payments, you may have to make your purchase contingent on selling your current home. And in today's market, that's not very attractive to sellers. It can weaken your negotiating position, or worse, force you to accept a lower price on your current home just to keep the new one. Now, if you sell first, there's a chance you may not have a home to move into immediately. But the upside is significant. You'll have your equity in hand, more flexibility, and much stronger negotiating power when it's time to buy. In most markets, you actually have more control over buying your next home than selling your current one. That's why it often makes sense to put your home on the market first, then begin house hunting. Once your home sells, we work together to time the closing and possession dates as closely as possible. In today's market, with low inventory and favorable interest rates, homes are selling quickly. That's great news if you're selling, but it can make finding your next home more challenging. Even so, selling first may still be the better strategy. Cash in hand puts you in a stronger position when competing for your next home. And here's something many people don't realize. Your buyer may be dealing with the same challenges you are. They may be willing to delay possession, giving you extra time to find your next place. And if a temporary move is necessary, the cost of interim housing and moving twice may be offset by the increased sale price of your home and locking in a lower interest rate on your next home. The goal here is preparation, not pressure. Once these questions are answered and these decisions are made, you're no longer guessing. You're ready. And that sets us up perfectly for step 2, setting goals. IT is important to begin by defining your goals, timelines, and ideal lifestyle to ensure a more efficient and successful search process. During the discovery consultation, our proven process will help position you on the right path. It is our goal to tailor the experience to exceed your expectations. We know that a home is more than just a place to live. It is where you will make memories that last a lifetime. What is your home buying plan and time frame? If within 3 months, here's some things you may need to be doing. Assess your finances and get pre-approved. Save for immediate costs. Find a real estate agent. Research the market. Get ready to make an offer. If within 1 year, here are some things you may need to be doing. Improve your credit score. Build a down payment fund. Research mortgage options. Start narrowing down locations. Work on your budget. If within 5 years, here's some things you may need to be doing. Establish long-term savings goals. Strengthen your credit profile. Gain knowledge of the housing market. Plan career and lifestyle stability. Decide on the type of home you want. 01 Agent Partner. Step 2, partner with me, your real estate agent. Representation, trust, advocacy. Most buyers today begin their home search online, and that makes sense. The internet is a great starting point. But at some point, almost every buyer realizes they need more than listings. They need guidance. That's where I come in. My role isn't just to help you find a house, it's to guide you through the entire process, from our first conversation all the way to the closing table. Through my network, experience, and technology, I'm often aware of homes that are already on the market and those that are coming soon. Yes, I'll help you find the right home faster, but more importantly, I'll help you understand market value, navigate financing options, coordinate inspections, manage timelines, handle the paperwork, negotiate on your behalf, and make sure nothing falls through the cracks. Because here's the truth, finding a home is rarely the hardest part. Negotiation and managing the process are what determine whether you get to closing successfully. That's why choosing the right agent matters. When you're selecting an agent, you should feel comfortable asking questions. How much experience do you have? How do you work with buyers? What professional affiliations do you carry? What designations or certifications do you hold? Not all agents are the same. For example, not every real estate agent is a realtor. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors and are held to a strict code of ethics. That means fairness, professionalism, and accountability every step of the way. Now let's talk about representation. When you work exclusively with one agent, that agent can fully commit to working in your best interest. The way we formalize that commitment is through a buyer representation agreement, sometimes called buyer agency or buyer brokerage. This agreement creates a fiduciary relationship, meaning I'm not just helping you, I'm advocating for you. Confidentiality, loyalty, and care are required. Your goals become the priority. Agency laws do vary by state, and company policies can differ as well. There are also situations involving dual agency, which can be complex. That's something I'll explain clearly so you understand exactly how it applies to your specific transaction. Another important conversation we'll have early on is commission. Agents are compensated for the professional services they provide. There is a commission paid to the listing agent and a commission paid to the buyer's agent. Historically, both were included in the sale price, but recent changes now require full transparency and disclosure of how commissions are handled. In some cases, the buyer may be responsible for the buyer's side commission. In others, it may be negotiated into the transaction and paid through the proceeds of the sale. If it's included in the price, it must be itemized, and if you're financing the purchase, the home must appraise accordingly. What's most important right now is that you discuss agency and representation, clearly understand how it applies to your transaction, agree on how commission will be handled, secure everything in writing so expectations are clear on both sides. Now, before we ever start looking at homes, I need to get to know you. Just like a doctor or an attorney, I have to diagnose before I prescribe. That means understanding your lifestyle, your tastes, your family needs, and what truly matters to you in a home. Sometimes that means I'll visit where you currently live. Other times, we'll sit down together in my office. Either way, I encourage you to ask questions and voice concerns. The better I understand you, the better I can serve you. And one more important note, if you're considering new construction, be sure to let me know before visiting any model homes. Builders often have agreements in place, and I can assist you with the purchase, protect your interests, and help you navigate builder contracts from the very beginning. Once we've met, aligned expectations, and formalized representation, we're ready to move forward confidently. Most buyers today start their home search online, and that makes sense. But at some point, almost every buyer realizes they need more than listings, they need guidance. That's where I come in. My role isn't just to help you find a house, it's to guide you through the entire process, from understanding your needs to coordinating showings to negotiating on your behalf and making sure nothing falls through the cracks. This slide visually reinforces ethics and trust. Realtors follow a strict code of ethics, ensuring honesty, integrity, and professionalism throughout your home buying journey. Understand your needs. They take time to learn your preferences, budget, and goals to find homes that truly fit your lifestyle. Educate you, you get clear guidance on the buying process, market conditions, and the legal and financial steps involved. Problem-solving expertise agents help navigate challenges like inspections, financing issues, and title concerns. Research properties, they analyze homes that match your criteria, including pricing, history, and market value. Keep you informed, you stay updated on market trends, comparable sales, and property values so you can make confident decisions. Coordinate viewings, they schedule tours, attend showings with you, and point out both pros and cons of each property. Negotiate for you. Your agent advocates on your behalf to secure the best price, terms, and conditions. Due diligence guidance, they walk you through inspections and investigations to uncover risks before you commit. Time efficiency, realtors handle scheduling, paperwork, and coordination, saving you time and stress. Professional network, they connect you with trusted lenders, inspectors, appraisers, and contractors. Facilitate communication, they keep all parties aligned and ensure smooth, transparent communication throughout the process. Support through closing, from negotiations to paperwork, they guide you all the way to closing and transfer of ownership. As a professional agent, I don't just show you homes, I simplify the process. Instead of you searching through everything, I narrow down the market based on your needs, your budget, and your lifestyle. So every home you see actually makes sense. And here's something many buyers don't realize. Not every opportunity is sitting on Zillow or Realtor.com. As your agent, I can help you access listed homes, off-market opportunities, and even properties that aren't publicly available yet. Now, let me address something important. A lot of buyers think working with multiple agents gives them an advantage. In reality, it creates confusion, wasted time, and missed opportunities. When you work with one agent, everything becomes more efficient. Clear communication, faster response time, stronger strategy, and most importantly, someone fully committed to why you. And this is where it really matters. When I represent you, I'm not just helping you. I have a legal obligation to protect you. That includes all aspects of the acronym OLD, CAR: obedience, loyalty, disclose, confidentiality, accounting, and reasonable care. Now let's talk briefly about how agents are compensated. Compensation is negotiable, agent. Compensation isn't fixed. Buyers and sellers can negotiate fees with their agents. Costs are explained, all fees are. Compensation is negotiable, agent. Compensation fixed. Buyers and sellers can negotiate fees with their agents. Costs are explained, all fees are clearly outlined in agreements, so both buyers and sellers understand who pays what before closing. Listing agents are paid at sale. Listing agents are typically paid from the home sale proceeds and may share compensation with the buyer's agent. No standard compensation, there's no set rate. Commissions vary based on the market, services provided, and individual agreements. Clearly outlined in agreements, so both buyers and sellers understand who pays what before closing. Listing agents are paid at sale. Listing agents are typically paid from the home sale proceeds and may share compensation with the buyer's agent. No standard compensation, there's no set rate. Commissions vary based on the market, services provided, and individual agreements. To formalize that relationship, we use what's called a buyer representation agreement. This simply means I'm committed to representing your and protecting your best interest throughout the entire process. Once we've aligned, established representation, and I fully understand your needs, now we're ready to move forward with confidence. When you're choosing a real estate agent, asking the right questions makes all the difference. Experience. How long have they been in real estate? Experience helps them handle complex situations. Local knowledge. Do they know your target area, pricing trends, schools, and neighborhoods? Who they represent? Do they primarily work with buyers, sellers, or both? Communication style. How often will they update you, and how do they prefer to communicate? Home search strategy. How will they find homes for you, MLS, off-market deals, or connections? Offer strategy. Can they help you compete and win in today's market? Process guidance. Will they walk you through the entire process from start to closing? Professional network. Do they have trusted lenders, inspectors, and contractors to recommend? Costs and fees. Do you clearly understand your costs, agreements, and responsibilities? Client references. Can they provide past client experiences or testimonials? Credentials. What certifications, affiliations, or designations do they hold? Problem solving. Can they handle challenges that come up during transactions? Understanding you. Are they asking questions to truly understand your needs, lifestyle, and goals? Because of how important this step is, I often have buyers complete pre-approval before we even begin house hunting, not to slow things down, but to protect you. Before we ever step foot inside a home, we need to establish one critical thing: your price range and your financing. This is where clarity turns into confidence. Now, before any lender tells you what you can afford, we need to understand what you're comfortable with, because there's a difference between what you can qualify for and what actually fits your lifestyle. I want to look at your income, your monthly expenses, your debt, and the true cost of home ownership. This step is about making sure your payment works for you, not just the bank. Now let's clear up something that confuses a lot of buyers. A pre-qualification is just an estimate based on what you say. But a pre-approval, that's when a lender has actually verified your income, credit, and financial documents, and that difference matters. That signed pre-approval letter does two things. It gives you confidence, and it shows the seller you're a serious buyer. In today's market, especially in multiple offer situations, pre-approval isn't optional. It's what separates you from everyone else. Now, to get pre-approved, you need to provide some documentation, things like pay stubs, W-2s, bank statements, and a review of your credit. This may sound like a lot, but this is standard, and I'll guide you through it. It's also important to know you have options. Depending on your situation, you may qualify for conventional loans, FHA, VA, or USDA programs, and in many cases, there are down payment assistance programs available that can help reduce your upfront costs. This is why having the right lender matters. You may have more options than you realize. My job is to make sure you're connected with the right professionals, asking the right questions, and fully understanding your options. Once we've established your price range, your financing, and your comfort level, now we're not guessing anymore. We're shopping with purpose, and that's what allows us to move into the next step, defining what home actually feels right for you. Now that we've established your price range and your financing, we move into one of the most important steps in the entire process, determining what home is actually right for you. Most buyers start this step by focusing on the physical details, and that makes sense. As you start thinking about your next home, these are exactly the types of questions we'll walk through together. They'll say things like, I need 3 or 4 bedrooms, at least 2 bathrooms, a yard for the kids or the dog, this style of home or that neighborhood. And then something interesting happens. How you commute to work, whether school districts matter, the type of community you want, your must-haves versus your preferences, your timeline, even whether you're considering new construction or resale. These questions help us go deeper than just bedrooms and bathrooms. And then something interesting happens. You walk into a home that checks every box on paper, and yet it just doesn't feel right. Why does that happen so often? Because you're not just buying a house, you're buying how you're going to feel living there. They walk into a home that checks every box on paper, and yet it just doesn't feel right. Why does that happen so often? Because you're not just buying a house, you're buying how you're going to feel living there. And if the home doesn't align with your lifestyle or the motivations driving that lifestyle, it won't feel like home, no matter how perfect the specs look. That's why this step goes deeper. To find a home that truly fits, we need to understand your needs, not just your wants. And those needs are usually shaped by a few dominant motivations. For example, stability and security, wanting a place that feels safe, settled, and long-term family and connection space for gathering, hosting, or raising children, peace and privacy, quiet surroundings, separation from noise or congestion, convenience and efficiency, proximity to work, schools, or everyday routines, pride and personal expression, a home that reflects who you are and what you've accomplished. Once we're clear on what you want to feel in your next home, I can help translate those emotions into the physical features that create them: layout, location, lot size, design, and flow. That's when the search becomes focused, intentional, and much more successful. So now that we've established your price range, clarified your financing, and defined your true housing requirements, you're ready for the fun part. That's why this step goes deeper. It's not just about features, it's about your lifestyle. What kind of home fits your lifestyle? What communities align with you? How long you plan to stay? And how the local market supports your goals. All of this shapes not just what you buy, but how it feels once you live there. That's why this step goes deeper. It's not just about features, it's about your lifestyle. What kind of home fits your lifestyle? What communities align with you? How long you plan to stay? And how the local market supports your goals. All of this shapes not just what you buy, but how it feels once you live there. Another important decision we'll walk through is whether new construction or resale is the better fit. There are pros and cons to both. New construction offers customization and modern features, while resale homes may offer more character, established neighborhoods, and potentially better pricing. My role is to help you weigh those options based on your priorities, not just what looks good on paper. And one important note, if you're considering new construction, make sure you let me know before visiting any model homes. Builders have agreements in place, and I can help protect your interests and guide you through that process from the very beginning. Once we're clear on what you want to feel in your next home, I can translate those emotions into the physical features that create them: layout, location, design, and flow. That's when the search becomes focused, intentional, and much more successful. So now that we've established your price range, clarified your financing, and defined what home truly means to you, now you're ready for the fun part. Pete Preview. Pursue. Step 5. Pursuing your dream. House hunting. Searching, touring, narrowing options. One of the most common questions I get is, how many homes should I see before I buy? And the honest answer is, there's no magic number. Some buyers find the right home on their very first day out. Others need a couple of weeks to gain clarity. What matters isn't the number of homes, it's the process. My job is to narrow the field. Out of all the homes on the market, I filter them down based on your location preferences, price range, layout, and key amenities. That way, instead of seeing everything, you're only seeing homes that have a real chance of meeting your needs. Technology has made this part of the process easier and more efficient than ever. The internet allows you to research neighborhoods, communities, and specific homes in advance. With photos, video tours, and 3D virtual walkthroughs, you can preview properties long before we ever schedule a showing. Google Maps also gives you a clear sense of the home's surroundings and location. Before we tour homes in person, I'll often send you links so you can review them first. That way, when we do go out, we're using our time wisely. Once we're inside the homes, this is where things really start to come together. I want you to pay attention to how each home makes you feel. Sit in the rooms. Picture your furniture. Imagine family and friends gathering there. Ask yourself, can I see my life here? After each showing, we'll talk through your reactions. That feedback is incredibly valuable. I use it to fine tune the search and narrow in on what truly matters to you. With each adjustment, the next set of homes gets better and more aligned. If you're buying an existing home, it's important to keep expectations realistic. No home is perfect. Try not to get distracted by paint colors or decor. Those are cosmetic and can be changed. Focus instead on the things you can change, especially location, layout, and overall structure. And this is where the work we did in the last step really pays off, because now we're not guessing anymore. We're searching with purpose. Technology has made this process easier than ever. Before we even step into a home, you can review photos, watch video tours, explore 3D walkthroughs, and even check the neighborhood using maps. I'll send you homes to preview first, so when we go out, we're using our time wisely. Now, once we're inside the homes, this is where everything starts to come together. I want you to pay attention to how each home makes you feel. Sit in the rooms, picture your furniture, imagine your family there. Ask yourself, can I see my life here? After each showing, we're going to talk it through. What you liked, what you didn't, what felt right, and what didn't. Because I use it to refine the search, so each round of homes gets better, sharper, and more aligned with you. If you're buying an existing home, it's important to stay realistic. No home is perfect. At some point, you're going to walk into a home and just know it feels right. And when that happens, timing matters. Because once you found the right home, the next step is making a move on it. And remember, if you decide to move forward on a home, you'll have the opportunity to hire a professional inspection company to evaluate the property and provide you a written report outlining any concerns. At some point, you'll walk into a home and just know it feels right. When that happens, it's important to act. The sooner you decide, the better. Many buyers lose the home they really want because they wait too long. No matter how long a home has been on the market, the minute you want it, someone else will too. Once you're ready to move forward, it's time for one of the most critical steps in the entire process: a remit, proposed step 6 proposal, completing the purchase agreement, terms, price, contingencies. This is where things start to get real. Step 6 is all about establishing the terms of the sale, and that happens through a set of written documents known as the purchase agreement. My role in this step is to guide you, plain and simple. I'll walk you through each part of the agreement, explain what it means, offer strategies, and help you think through options and anticipated outcomes. But it's important to understand this: the final decisions are always yours. I don't make decisions for you. I provide facts, feedback, options, and perspective so you can make informed choices with confidence. Now, a lot of buyers think an offer is just about price, but it's actually made up of several important components. When we structure your offer, we're looking at things like purchase price seller contributions toward closing costs, closing date, and possession timing, earnest money amount, and who holds it, the closing attorney or title company, your inspection and due diligence period, financing terms, and any contingencies that protect you. All of these pieces work together to make your offer strong, competitive, and aligned with your goals. As we prepare to establish the terms of sale, remember, the ultimate goal is to reach agreement and purchase the home. Aim for a win-win transaction that results in mutual satisfaction. It is possible other buyers will submit an offer at the same time you do. This is called a multiple offer situation. If that happens, I'll make you aware and help structure your offer accordingly. We'll review each of these elements. However, this video is not a substitute for legal advice. It's your responsibility to read and understand the contract. One important component of the agreement is the earnest money deposit. This is your good faith deposit and a sign of your commitment to purchase the home. It provides security and peace of mind for the seller. The money is held in a trust or escrow account and is later applied toward your down payment or closing costs, depending on the type of financing. And just as important as the amount is how those funds are handled. We use secure systems and verified processes to protect your information and your money throughout the transaction. Another area that often causes confusion is personal property. Items attached to the property are called fixtures. They're considered real estate and stay with the home unless otherwise specified. Items that can be removed by the seller are personal property. If personal property isn't specified now as part of the sale, don't assume it will be there when you move in. Standard appliances like the refrigerator, range, and dishwasher are often normal parts of the property, but that perfect mirror you loved may not be. However, don't get stuck negotiating over items of personal property. You're buying a home, not the contents. Buyers frequently consider price to be the most important element. Too often, they place more importance on getting a good deal than on getting a good home, focusing on price instead of value. No one wants to pay too much, but quality real estate will command market value. If a seller's asking price is right at market value, there may be little deviation from it. In strong markets with limited inventory, it's common for homes to attract multiple offers and sell above asking price. Now, it's a bit like a poker game, but you get to deal your own hand. One important component of the agreement is the earnest money deposit. This is your good faith deposit and a sign of your commitment to purchase the home. It provides security and peace of mind for the seller. The money is held in a trust or escrow account and is later applied toward your down payment or closing costs, depending on the type of financing. And just as important as the amount is how those funds are handled. We use secure systems and verified processes to protect your information and your money throughout the transaction. Another area that often causes confusion is personal property. Items attached to the property are called fixtures. They're considered real estate and stay with the home unless otherwise specified. Items that can be removed by the seller are personal property. If personal property isn't specified now as part of the sale, don't assume it will be there when you move in. Standard appliances like the refrigerator, range, and dishwasher are often normal parts of the property, but that perfect mirror you loved may not be. However, don't get stuck negotiating over items of personal property. You're buying a home, not the contents. Buyers frequently consider price to be the most important element. Too often, they place more importance on getting a good deal than on getting a good home, focusing on price instead of value. No one wants to pay too much, but quality real estate will command market value. If a seller's asking price is right at market value, there may be little deviation from it. In strong markets with limited inventory, it's common for homes to attract multiple offers and sell above asking price. Now, it's a bit like a poker game, but you get to deal your own hand. One important component of the agreement is the earnest money deposit. This is your good faith deposit and a sign of your commitment to purchase the home. It provides security and peace of mind for the seller. The money is held in a trust or escrow account and is later applied toward your down payment or closing costs, depending on the type of financing. And just as important as the amount is how those funds are handled. We use secure systems and verify processes to protect your information and your money throughout the transaction. A home inspection contingency lets buyers evaluate a property's condition before closing within a defined contract period. If serious defects appear, buyers can renegotiate repairs, price, or credits, or cancel without losing earnest money. Missing the written notice deadline can remove contingency protection. Backing out may mean forfeiting the earnest money deposit. Standard inspections are visual, last 2 to 4 hours, and cover major systems. Reports outline findings and suggested repairs. Structural components, HVAC heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, electrical systems, plumbing systems, roof and exterior. Interior features, pest inspection, environmental concerns, specialty inspections if needed, energy efficiency. A thorough home inspection can help buyers negotiate repairs or price adjustments and avoid costly surprises after closing. It's recommended to hire a licensed and certified home inspector who is familiar with Georgia's housing conditions and regulations. When determining a home's value, appraisers look at several key factors. This includes the size of the property, its location, and the overall condition, both inside and out. Upgrades and renovations can increase value, and additional features like pools or other amenities can also boost the final appraisal. A title search ensures the property is legally clear to sell. It reviews ownership history to confirm a clean chain of title, checks for any liens or debts, and looks for legal claims like judgments or lawsuits. It also identifies easements or restrictions and verifies that property taxes are fully paid. To get a lender letter or final approval, lenders evaluate your financial profile. This includes verifying your income and job stability, reviewing your employment history, checking your credit score, and analyzing your debt to income ratio. They also assess your assets like savings and investments. Once everything checks out, you're officially clear to close. Handing over the keys. Possess. Step 8. Possess, closing the sale. Funding, signing, ownership. This is it, the final step before you officially call the house home. The closing, sometimes called the closing of escrow, is where everything comes together. By this point, the heavy lifting has already been done. My role, along with your loan officer, is to make sure every required item is completed and delivered by the closing date. From the moment the purchase agreement is finalized, we're working behind the scenes to keep things moving smoothly. That includes coordinating items such as income and deposit verifications, credit review, the appraisal, loan approval, inspections, and the title search. During the same time, the title company or closing attorney is also completing important work behind the scenes. They will conduct a title search to help ensure there are no liens, ownership disputes, or legal issues with the property before ownership is transferred to you. This is an important part of protecting you and making sure you receive clear and legal title to your new home. During this same time frame, you'll take care of a few important things as well: securing homeowners insurance, preparing your funds for closing, and beginning your moving plans. The closing itself typically takes place at a title company or attorney's office on the day specified in the purchase agreement. At that time, you'll be prepared to bring the remaining balance of your down payment and closing costs as outlined in your closing disclosure. Once everything is signed and funded, the transaction is complete. And that's when the seller hands you the keys. At that moment, you're no longer just buying a house, you're stepping into your new home and the next chapter of your life. Buying a home doesn't have to be confusing or stressful when you understand the process and have the right guidance. My goal throughout each step is to educate, protect, and advocate for you, so when you reach the closing table, you do so with confidence and peace of mind.